What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and in this video I want to take this time to share two different pieces of mail that we just received in the P.O. box. And both of these letters that I received are pretty shocking. You know, we receive all sorts of awesome things that people send us from all over the world here at After Prison Show, and it's an awesome thing to be able to receive these things. But with that, I do wonder and worry a lot about some things that we receive, and worry more like we may receive things that are just a little too much, maybe too extreme or shocking. And I guess a good way to explain that is I'm always waiting for that big black dildo to arrive. But I did just receive two pieces of fan mail that were pretty damn shocking, and I'm gonna go ahead and share those with you right now. The first of which was this envelope right here that I opened up just literally like 10 minutes before I started filming this video. Literally, this wasn't even the video I was supposed to be doing for today. But then when I opened up this envelope and also this other piece of fan mail that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, it kind of changed the entire direction of what this video was going to be about. But what's contained inside of this envelope right here most certainly changed everything. When I saw this envelope and also felt this envelope, I could tell that there was something inside of this envelope, like right here. And I had no idea what it was. I figured it was some sort of souvenir that somebody was sending to me. So I open up this envelope, and the first thing that I see when I do so, I mean, it absolutely scares the shit out of me, to be completely honest with you. And I'm going to show you what is inside of this envelope. And I want to know what you would think if you opened up an envelope and saw this inside of there. I don't even want to touch that. I got to be completely honest with you. This scared the living shit out of me. I had no idea what this was. Was this drugs? Was this poison? Was this anything? And without touching whatever the hell that is, I pull out the letter that is in this envelope as well. And all it says is, I hope you enjoy. P.S. It's powdered sugar. Use it as a prop when you're telling stories next time. I'm sure that is just powdered sugar. I really am sure. But that is not something that you should be sending through the mail. Not packaged like that. I mean, don't they x-ray mail? This legitimately could have been very, very bad. No matter what the hell it says that it's just a prop, that it's just powdered sugar. That was a very scary envelope to open and then see the contents inside of it. And the very first thought going through my mind when doing so is, oh my God, did somebody just send me fucking drugs? And it doesn't even matter the fact that the letter says, hey, it's just powdered sugar. I mean, if that envelope was x-rayed and if they were able to see what the hell was inside of that envelope, I mean, I would have gone to the P.O. box and the police would have been waiting for me right there. And that's a really crazy thing to be thinking about. So please, for the love of God, do not send me any more props that look like that. Because at this point, I'm about to just start sending Cody to the post office by himself. Hey, Cody, I need you to go check the P.O. box, brother. I don't know, maybe I'm blowing this whole thing completely out of proportion, but again, just imagine yourself out there opening up an envelope and you see this little tied off baggie inside of it that looks just like drugs. Let's just say, for example, I was opening that envelope right in front of a cop who was standing right next to me. For whatever reason, there was just a cop standing right next to me, and all of a sudden that little baggie fell out of that envelope. Whoops! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Then all that would be left of After Prison Show would be Cody at that point doing video visits with old Joe from a jail cell behind a tied off baggie of powdered sugar. Why are my hands still behind my back? With that first piece of mail out of the way, I want to move on to this letter that I just received as well. And when I first got this letter, the first thing that I noticed on the envelope was this right here. Mail organized at Florida State Correctional Institution. And just thinking about the fact that this letter came from someone in prison, the crazy thing about that is this is actually the very first letter I've ever received from somebody in prison. I'm surprised that more people aren't writing to After Prison Show from prison. But this letter was written by a girl by the name of Patricia, and when I read her letter and heard her story, it was so damn shocking that I had to share this letter with all of you. Dear After Prison Show, sitting here, I ask myself, what is going to make me different from the hundreds of other letters you might receive? In truth, my words alone could not express how eager I am to explain who I am not, and who I yet desire wholeheartedly to become one day. That's a pretty powerful introduction right there. My name is Patricia, and I am currently serving a life sentence at Lowell Correctional Institute in Florida. This was my first offense, which happened when I was 19 years old. At the age of 14, I moved to Florida from New York with my family, met a boy, and at that time fell in love. It was the unhealthy kind of love that some girls experience and ultimately, in my case, led to tragedy. He was a criminal and I was lured into participating in a crime that resulted in the death of an innocent person. Can you just imagine what it would be like the first time you ever get in trouble in your life, you receive a life sentence for that, you kill somebody? Although I never for a second thought that anyone would get hurt that day, I take full responsibility for my decisions. I should have been stronger, but I was immature and naive with an underdeveloped sense of responsibility. And every day I spend regretting my actions and stupidity and feel remorseful for the victim and her family. So obviously the innocent person who was killed was a woman as well. I have experienced very hard realities in the penitentiary, but in the past 10 years, this woman's been locked up for 10 years. She was 19 when this happened. She's 29 years old right now. And just think of the fact that this woman is never going to be released. And thinking about this, I'm trying to make sense of this because there's people who catch murder charges all the time and they don't receive life. They might receive 20, 25 years, maybe even less than that. In some cases, obviously more than that. And I'm just wondering why this woman received this life sentence at the age of 19 with no prior criminal history. There is a possibility that whatever did happen on this day when this innocent person was killed, it potentially could have been some very horrible shit. I have matured and grown to better levels of respect and acceptance for myself and others, which I never knew existed. Throughout this time, I continued to hold responsible jobs and positions and participate in any classes or programs offered or available to me. I received my GED my first year in prison, very similar to my situation when I was first locked up to serve 7 years. In my first year while locked up, within the first 4 months actually, I received my GED as well. In 2015, the juvenile law was passed where it was unconstitutional to sentence a person under 18 to life without weighing mitigating factors first. In some states, a life sentence for a person under 18 years old is not even an option. Brain studies have supported that the mind is not fully developed until the mid-20s. We can also recognize a long list of things a person must be at least 21 years old to do. Buy alcohol, gamble, child support payments stop, dissolve a trust, become a police officer, purchase a gun and permit. I question how a 17-year-old who has committed the act of killing a person is eligible for relief, but an 18 or 19-year-old, as in my case, who may have been involved in a crime but is the least culpable, is not. I understand there are consequences I must face, but awareness should be made and situations like mine should be given some, if not the same, consideration. I am not a menace to society or an individual whose life should be defined or determined according to a mistake I made before I ever truly lived. Sincerely, Patricia. 29 years old, sitting in prison and is never going to see the light of day again. And she raises some very, very good points in this letter, saying that in 2015, the juvenile law was passed where you couldn't even consider sentencing a juvenile to life without first weighing all of the mitigating factors, all of the circumstances surrounding the case. And yet here is this woman who at 19 years old was somehow involved in the murder, death, killing of an innocent person, saying that in this situation she was the least culpable. So maybe she was just along when this happened. Maybe it was this boyfriend that she spoke about who actually did it. Maybe she was just there. And because of that and whatever circumstances do surround this case, whether it was a robbery gone wrong, whether it was an older woman who, whatever those circumstances were, she ended up getting a life sentence because of this and will never again be a part of the free world. Can you imagine what that must feel like? At 18 or 19 years old, you have not even experienced nothing in life. And I'm not saying she deserves to be released right now, today, or anything like that. She's already served 10 years, and who's to say what the circumstances surrounding her case really are? But with already serving 10 years, maybe just give her like another 10 years, maybe give her 20 years altogether. But to have life without the possibility of parole. We just spoke about probation and parole yesterday, as a matter of fact. And it's really ironic how this letter just came up today that basically fits right into what we were just talking about. I really want to know what all of you think about this situation. I mean, obviously we don't know the full details of this woman's case, but I just want to know overall, what do you think about this? If a person is just there, let's just say in the wrong place at the right time, and something absolutely terrible happens, do you feel this person deserves to spend the rest of their life in prison? It's some really crazy shit to think about, to be honest with you. As I wrap this video up, I do want to leave you guys with one last little thing to think about. Let's brighten this up a little bit. You may have noticed I've been wearing these graphic tees all the time, and I also just got a whole bunch of these new band t-shirts. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pink Floyd, this Nirvana one that I'm wearing right here. And this is music that I grew up listening to and, still listen to this day. But there is something very, very crazy about this t-shirt in particular that I am wearing. You remember old Punk Tattoo Guy, the guy that was in love with me that I spoke about a guy who I was locked up with who wanted to have sex with me. Yeah, you remember old Punk Tattoo Guy? Well, you remember the tattoo that I told you he had tattooed on his chest, that old punk tattoo. Well, if you can remember from that, or if you don't know at all, I said that this punk tattoo he had tattooed on his chest, it had the word punk written right here in some old funky little letters, but it also had an image above that word. And what that image was this damn smiley face right here. So I really couldn't tell you if I'm wearing this shirt because of the Nirvana band or because of the Punk Tattoo Guy. I'm gonna let you guys be the judge of that, and please let me know down in the comments what you really think. Why am I wearing this t-shirt? Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about all of this crazy stuff that we talked about here in this video. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace!